Good morning, happy new year everybody. This is Veganomics. Yeah, I might want to change my name actually. I don't know. We'll have to think about that, but I don't know. As I get older, I don't know. It's kind of a silly name. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well. I just kind of wanted to update you guys. I have a couple videos that I want to push out either today or tomorrow. This one won't be very long, but this is basically an update on my diet. The other one's going to be an update on the farm, the fruit farm. So, you know, maybe when we last spoke, you know, I had done raw, I had done raw vegan. I might have switched over to a starch solution kind of diet with McDougall way of eating. I kind of go through these phases where I'll try a certain thing for a while, and then I'm basically my ideal thing is that I'm trying to find, you know, the ideal diet. I'm trying to find what's perfect for humans, but also I go through these phases of, oh, I don't want to spend too much money or anything like that. Well, I was recommended this book, The Mucusless Diet Healing System by Arnold Ehret. And I found a version that is annotated and revised and edited by Professor Spira. I don't think that's his real name. But anyway, Professor Arnold Ehret, in a nutshell, was a German who left and came to America, basically, and he really liked, I think it was Burbank, and Burbank was a person in California, I believe, that before Burbank was founded. And he was, I want to say he was introducing California to a lot of new species of edible plants, you know, fruits, things like that. So anyway, off on a tangent a little bit, but this guy came up with this book where he has a theory. He almost died, and you know, he had one of those epiphanies where he stopped eating, and he's credited as being one of the first pioneers of sort of raw veganism before it even was a thing. So if you haven't heard of Arnold Ehret, this isn't his original book, but this is an annotated and revised, basically a modernized version of it. I mean, I think there are a lot of things that are left untouched, but then there are, you know, annotations by Professor Spira, and I've finished reading it, and I've basically been doing the diet for almost a month. The 7th it'll be a month. Right now it's January 3rd, but I've got to say it's really changed. There are just ducks in the background. It's really changed the way I look at food now, you know. Whereas like on the starch solution, I had been eating homemade bread and pastas and a lot of legumes and things like that. Now I'm eating many more fresh fruits again, almost as if I were eating raw. The one thing I am changing a little bit is there's a transition part of this diet where he says you might be on a transition for years or something. Well, surprisingly enough, and I guess I should explain what the diet really entails. Professor Arnold Ehret goes into why he believes that our body's defense of forming mucus is basically, when we create mucus, that's our body's way of saying, hey, what you're putting in our bodies is toxic. So the mucusless diet aims to, you know, really cut down on a lot of those mucus-forming foods and get away from the mucus-forming foods and acidic foods like meat, dairy, and all that stuff, and really get back to what Arnold Ehret believed, you know, a natural human diet looked like, you know, fresh fruits, basically fresh fruits in a nutshell. But he does say that there are a few things that are kind of unconventional in the raw food movement that are, you know, a lot less mucus forming or not mucus forming at all, such as sweet potatoes versus, you know, russet potatoes. So on the transition diet, sweet potatoes are perfectly fine, whereas russet potatoes are more starchy, so we want to stay away from them a little bit more. I have been incorporating honey in my diet, local honey. I'm not gonna try to hide that. I don't really mind. I think some vegans are a little bit too crazy with things like this, and they'll be like, oh, I will never eat honey, I'll never. And it's just like, okay, first of all, if we're purchasing local honey versus commercial honey, I think that's a step in the right direction, right? We're supporting our beekeepers, right? Our local beekeepers that are basically have these colonies that are helping to pollinate hundreds, if not thousands, of fruit trees. So in my eyes, I can get on board with that. Now, I'm not going to eat dairy, I'm not going to eat fish, I'm not going to eat anything like that. But you know, local honey, a spoonful a day, I believe in my tea, can be beneficial. So I'm going to be transparent and open with you guys on that. I'm not going to pull, you know, whomever and go back to eating fish or anything like I already said. I'm not going to name any names, but you guys probably know who I'm talking about. Anyway, let's maybe quickly talk about some of the, well, this could be an all-in-one take. Talk about some of the other benefits I've noticed so far. Well, the very first day that I started this diet was December 7th, and that morning I weighed myself and I was 179. I had been probably sick that day or something, and I was just like, enough's enough, I need something else, blah blah blah. And or maybe the week before, leading up to this, I had been reading about it a little bit, doing some research online and stuff. But anyway, as of today, I weighed myself and I'm 164, so I don't know, that's pretty awesome. 15 pounds, and that's pretty rapid, actually, pretty rapid weight loss. 15 pounds in about a month. I would consider to be too fast. However, I have been sick. My brother and his kids came to stay with us, and they all had coughs. Well, the two kids had pretty big coughs. And the night before they came over, I also like overindulged a little bit in some sauerkraut. So I ate way too much sauerkraut, way too much fermented cabbage in my gut. I think it messed with my gut a little bit because I've been so clean. You know, the salt and the fermented food kind of, in my opinion, because I'm pretty in tune with my body, I can tell which things, you know, make me feel good and which things don't. And I kind of wanted to play around with it, and I added some sauerkraut to my salad, and just won't do that again, you know. The very next night I had a fever and some of the worst chills I've had since like meat eating and dairy days. So yeah, I can sometimes tell things aren't great for me and other things are. So yeah, this is the first of probably many videos. This is a journey again. It's I don't see myself going off of this diet because of how I don't want to say loose, but kind of lax the transition diet is. I mean, obviously you're not allowed to eat dairy, eggs, fish, nothing like that. But if I could, let me see if I can sort of open up to, so you can even eat cooked fruits. Okay, these are actually Professor Spira's list of acid-forming and acid-binding foods. So the worst of the worst, we have flesh, which is pus-forming. If you leave flesh out, you know, if a cat crosses the road or a dog crosses the road, gets hit by a car, you know, especially here in Florida, by the next day, probably the same day if it's early enough, there's going to be pus, there's going to be, you know, scavengers are going to be coming to feast on the body. So anyway, blood of animals, eggs, all kinds, lard, meat, beef, chicken, horse, dog, mutton, lamb, turkey, veal, and margarine. Okay, fish, which is pus-forming, dairy products, which are pus-forming, cereals, which he's labeled moderately mucus-forming, so barley, breads of all kinds, basically, cereal grains, cornmeal, pastas, pseudo cereals, beans, which are moderately mucus forming, nuts and seeds, which are mildly mucus forming, processed foods, which are pus and or very mucus forming. So processed foods is a little vague, but he's talking about dried convenience food, fast foods, frozen convenience foods, packaged convenience foods. Basically, most convenience food are pre-packaged foods, right? Confectionaries, candies, sweets, pus and or very mucus forming, baked goods, pies, cakes, pastries, candy, gelatin, ice cream, marshmallow. I actually like that there's a list of foods that you should avoid. Acidic, fermented, oh, right there. Fermented or distilled drinks and syrups, acid-forming stimulants, agave nectar, alcoholic beverages, cocoa, coffee, kombucha tea, soft drink, syrups, tea, vinegar, fermented foods and sauces, fish sauce, fermented vegetables, pickles, miso, sauces with vinegar, soy sauce, vegetarian and vegan processed foods even, chips, frozen, vegan breakfast foods, hummus, lab-grown animal tissue, margarine, nutritional yeast, surprisingly, is on there, pasta, pasteurized 100% fruit juice, which is potentially acid-forming, plant milks, plant-based butters, plant-based creamers, soy lecithin, tempeh. The list goes on, but I do want to tell you some of the things that you are allowed to eat. Oh, here we go, one more page. Oils, salts and spices, starchy or fatty vegetables and fruits, such as avocados even, you know. Professor Arnold Ehret, you know, didn't live around the time where avocados were readily available to Americans, probably, but avocados are, and I noticed this when I was raw, are mucus forming for sure. I remember throughout the whole day I'd be no mucus at all, but then as soon as I had my evening salad with avocado, I started to have more issues with mucus. All right, here we go. Let's talk about acid binding, non-mucus forming or mucusless foods. So we have green leaf vegetables, mucusless, raw vegetables. Okay, and I'm not going to go into every single one. This video would be a little bit long, but I highly recommend this book. Raw vegetables, root, stem, fruit, baked vegetables even. Cauliflower, broccoli, acorn, squash, those are some of the big ones that I would eat. Zucchini. Now we have ripe fruits, which are mucusless. We have apples, apricots, banana, black cherries, blackberries, blood orange, cantaloupe, cherries, grapefruit, grapes, tangelos, honeydew, lemons, mandarin, mangoes, nectarine, oranges, peaches, pears, pineapples, plums, pomegranates, prunes, raisins, raspberries, sour cherries, strawberries, sweet cherries, tangerines, watermelon, dry. Now we going into dried or baked fruits. Okay, pretty much the same list. We've got 100% fruit jellies, syrups, and honey, coconut water, fruit jellies, real maple syrup, and honey. Okay, those are basically the foods that you're allowed to and not allowed to eat. So I basically just took pictures of these pages that I'm supposed to be eating from and take that to the store with me to be my grocery list. So again, this is just an initial sort of video that I want to show you, and you know, I could easily see myself doing this for a year plus, you know, while I start to fine-tune my diet and start to get really clean and, you know, start to feel better. So if this interests you guys, pick it up. It was like $12 on Amazon with free shipping, I want to say. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're not. I'm going to be doing videos talking about this diet more often, and I'm also going to be showing you sort of the farm and the update and what's growing right now, what I've just planted recently, and things like that. So look out for those videos. Thanks, guys, and take care.